What's going on, guys? Christian here from CK Wraps. Today I'm going to wrap the front bumper on this Tesla Model X, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Do it with this vinyl right here. The rest of the car is wrapped. This is the home stretch. Full chrome trim deletes, full body wrap. The wheels are actually out getting powder coated. Windows are tinted, fully done, brand new, spanking, straight from the dealership to here. If you want to check out more videos, you're going to have to go to my website, ckwraps.com. I have more videos of this car being wrapped, like the chrome trim delete around the mirrors, how to take off the mirrors, that sort of thing, how to wrap the trunk in one piece, how to dismantle the rear chrome trim, all kinds of videos in 4K footage with a cameraman right up there in front of my face. I'm going to put a link in the top corner and in the description below for you. There's also a forum for you guys to ask me questions or ask each other's questions or show your own work off. I'm looking forward to really seeing what you guys are putting out. I'm always on it, so I'm on it, answering all the questions that you guys are throwing at me, doing my best to help you out as much as I possibly can. Unfortunately, I can't spend all my time on YouTube, but the website I can spend a lot more time on there helping you guys out. I'm also giving away 5 $100 gift cards, okay? We're almost at 1,000 subscribers so far for the website. If you register as a premium member, premium members will be drawn randomly once we get to 1,000, randomly, for 5 $100 gift cards, okay? This means you can take this $100 gift card and spend it on products that you want. As far as Vvivid Wrap stuff goes, you can get tools, you can get wraps, you can get whatever you want. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys do with it. Anyways, let's get on to the wrap. So first things first, obviously I have the car lifted. It's not normally this high. Does help a lot to have the bumper elevated. What we've also done here is we've masked off some chrome trim. Not a lot of disassembly required for this one. I'm going to show you how to actually wrap around these things. It's not terrible. There's a lot of good spaces here, and the edges are fairly thin on the actual plastic of the bumper. There are a few inlays involved here, so I'm going to show you what those inlays are and where they are. Very straightforward. I have videos on how to do inlays, so if you're looking for that, just search it, you'll find it. Again, we're using Satin Pearl White for this wrap. Surface wipe down with isopropyl alcohol. I've also taken a compressor, so compressed air, and I've blown away all the free particles that are floating around all under this plastic trim and stuff like that. As you can see, there's no emblem on here, it's being wrapped. But yeah, I've blown away all the loose particles, because if you don't blow away all these particles that are sitting in the trunk liner, the trunk area here, the frunk, whatever you want to call it, there's a lot of dirt and stuff that sits in this area. So when you remove stuff or when you flex the bumper a little bit, it's going to fall out, or it could be drawn in as soon as you remove the release liner from this as well. So by removing the release liner from this, what can happen is it's going to create static, and it's going to draw in any loose particles. So I personally like to use a little bit of compressed air just to blow off the surrounding area. Make sure you're doing a thorough job. You know, you don't need anything fancy as far as a compressed air tank goes. Something small will probably pretty much do the trick. Anyways, let's show you where these inlays are. I'm going to bring the camera over for you so you can see. So on each side, I've done an inlay on the bottom here. I've also masked off the fog light, I guess. I've also masked off the chrome that we've already wrapped. Kirsten did this, she did a great job. I've done an inlay on the underside here as well, because we need it. This is too deep of a recess to actually stretch the film into. It will 100% fail, okay? Next thing we need to do relief cuts. So we do like a relief cut along this line here. This is going to be a tab that kind of folds in. This is going to be a separate piece, and this is going to be a tab that folds in as well. It should work out very well as long as you do your inlays correctly. We don't really need anything up in here, not a big deal. Also on the underside here, I've done an inlay sort of set back in here on each side. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? There we go. So set back in there. When I cut here, right here, this is going to be a tab that kind of folds in and underneath, and then I'm going to be able to actually stretch the film into here. It should be fine to stretch it into here. It won't be too bad as far as tension goes. So same thing on both sides. You can see the one over there. All right. And that's basically it. Same inlays done over here, one on the bottom, one on the top. Let's do this. I have my front bumper piece already cut. It's in my hand. It's already labeled. And we're going to stick this from one side to the other. People have a little bit of issue removing the release liner when the film is pulled out like this. So I'm going to kind of show you how to do it, or I'll talk about how I do it. Again, these videos will not be as detailed as they will be on the website, all right? So these are much more detailed. I'm not able to move the camera while I wrap the front bumper. So again, ckwraps.com is going to show you up close and detailed videos on how to do this kind of stuff, all right? This car is also not magnetic, so what I need to do is I need to tack the bumper from one side first, which I'll tack it on the driver's side, I guess, or passenger side here, and then I'll run it across to the other side. Let's do it. While doing this alone, what I do is I fold my release liner, my film back like this. I grab it, okay? And all we really need to do is just get a corner out like that. We're gonna take it and we're gonna stick it to the vehicle. We wanna watch our positioning up and down. We wanna make sure that we're gonna get coverage top and bottom. We don't wanna let go of our film yet. And again, I'm not gonna pull very hard right now. I'm just gonna unroll this. Try to keep it in the correct space. Perfect. I'm like an inch short on the driver's side over here from the very end of the bumper. It doesn't matter at all because we're going to actually be stretching the film a little bit, nothing crazy, but it'll definitely stretch over this whole area more than a half an inch or an inch. Typically, when you're stretching the bumper, I find you're stretching roughly around 4 to 6 inches each side. Okay, so it's there's a little bit of stretch there. So if your bumper piece is cut exactly the same length, don't stress yourself out, you'll be fine. Now when I remove the release liner, I like to roll it off, so I'll actually bring the film out and try to keep it flat like this. And I try and get a good pass with my arms to get it sort of going there. Now I just saw a little bit of dirt. There we go. Or fluff, it was a fluff. Not sure where it came from because I've already cleaned this so thoroughly. Anyways, not a big deal. It's better to get it off before you put the bumper down or put the whole piece down. Okay, but yeah, I like to try and get the release liner around the curve a bit. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to keep it flat, just like this. Eventually the paper is going to get stuck on this side or the other side, depending on which way you're doing it. So we're going to open it up. I'm going to hold it tight to the bumper and again, keep rolling it. I like to keep it tight to the face of the bumper. Excellent. So I mean, I'm already actually past the corner on this side. It's already there. However, I guess it stretched a little bit as I was doing this. Haven't really pulled on it, but hey, it's just past the corner now. Okay. What we need to do is we need to get rid of all of this slack right here. It's especially going to get a lot in the middle. This means we have to pull across, okay? We need the film to curl in at the top and curl in at the bottom slightly too. We need it to contour around the panel that we're wrapping, basically. If it contours around the panel that we're wrapping, we don't have to worry about stretching to edges, okay? We're just pulling across the face. You're always pulling across a panel. This way the film wraps itself around. As we get to the end, we ease up because it becomes a little bit flatter. We ease up on the stretching. I'll try and move the camera over as I do that sort of stuff for you. This way you can actually see what's happening. So I'm just gonna lift this side up right here. And we're gonna pull it tight. Not too tight right now, just get it going. Again, you're going to run into this issue, especially if you don't have the extra hands, of the top piece or bottom piece flopping around. But you can see as I pull it, what's happening? Oh, it's going in naturally, right? Then I'm just going to anchor this piece down right here. I'm going to see how we're sitting up here. So it's looking pretty good right along this area here. This is our chrome trim. We don't need really heavy stretch right here. So what I can do actually right now is anchor this in. This way when I pull back the other side, this part doesn't release and we start from here and pull it back across the other way. Just like so. Okay, I pulled a little bit harder that time. Now I will eventually add heat to give it a bit more pliability, but I wanted to get the center set up. Let's get this done right here, right in the middle. Put your glove on. This creates less drag. And you can see the film has already sort of worked its way into the recess, so we don't have a lot of stretching to do. We're going to stretch it a little bit into the recessed area though. We want to go for the deepest part normally. So I went for the deepest part of the recess, then we can work out all this flat area here. We don't want to leave the film under tension for too long, bridging gaps and stuff like that. It will get glue lines in it, but I mean, it's not likely to happen that much when it's not too hot. So keep that in mind. I'm just using my glove right now. You should actually be using your squeegee. A little bit easier right now for me. Let's finish this off because it's so flat in this area. No big deal. I'm going to start using my squeegee because your hand will actually miss a lot. So we don't want to miss any areas here. That's the license plate screw. Push nice and firm with your squeegee. It's very important. When you're using a blue squeegee or a softer squeegee, there should be flex to the squeegee. You should also be using a squeegee that does flex, okay? Don't use a squeegee that's too rigid or firm. Let's anchor this out a little bit here. Let's get some of that going. And then I'm going to pull the film back to about here. And we're going to stretch more across this way. I'm going to show you exactly what happens with our inlays when we cut. So when we cut, the film is going to fold, it's going to have a little flap, and it's going to drop down basically where we need it to go. Okay, so let's bring this back. So I want to make this contour. What I need to do is add heat. Depends on the ambient room temperature. Sometimes you don't really need a lot of heat. Sometimes you do need some. I always position my hand a little bit closer, so I'm walking my left hand in a bit. This way I can actually glass the film out properly. And you notice that I'm not heating right over there at the line where it's connecting to the bumper. This prevents glue lines or discoloration if you don't actually heat and stretch right where it's touching that bumper, okay? So again, try and keep the film flat, pull it firm, and that's what you want. So we want to lock it in. We always want to lock it in somewhere, to an opposing panel or something. We have to. Because if the film snaps back, we're kind of ruining our work here. Always remember to lock it in. Right here, we're going to go through the recessed area again. Let's get that air out real quick. Let's get this area away from being under tension. Cool. That all looks great. All right here, these wrinkles, because I caused them, are going to pull down, just like so. We're going to lock that in while they're down, and that's going to prevent that from showing, or from snapping back, sorry, is what I mean, showing. Balance is key when you're stretching around the bumper. You don't want to stretch so much, but I would say that it's better to actually try and give it than to not try hard enough, okay? It's important to actually try. So I'm not going to bridge too many gaps here. I sort of want to leave this not too much under tension. I'm going to work out the rest of this film over this way. Basically what I'm doing is I'm working the film down to the corner. And then what I'll do on that side is work the film up to the top corner. Let's use my squeegee here, make sure we've been thorough. I'm going to take my glove off because you can't really grab the film with the glove on, especially the super glove. It's very slippery. These wrinkles that I have coming across the top, they're going to pull out. They got to pull out. They got to come across the top. If you find that you have too much slack in this area, what you have to do is you have to bring the film back and stretch more across, okay? This is where all the heavy taper happens, right up here. So I'm going to lift this, heat it, shrink it down. Excellent. That's all good. The film should be shrinking down and around, always. And when I say always, I mean 100% of the time, pretty much. Maybe 99% of the time. All right, let's fix up this. Get all this flat area done. The headlight is right here. You're going to see it in a second. As long as we're not stretching up to the headlight, we're good, okay? If we're stretching the film up to the headlight, there's a really good chance that the film will pull back out of that area. Cool. We're nice and smooth across this line. Very important to be noticing that. No wrinkles at all. Let's go to the other side. Then I'll show you all the fun stuff when it comes to cutting and stuff like that. So film's going to come back to about here, about the same as last time. Basically what I'm doing is I'm pulling it back to just around when the film starts to contour, or sorry, when the bumper starts to contour, so I can get the film to start contouring around the bumper. You see this is going to flop around a little bit, that's okay. We just got to deal with it. Keep a little tension on it. Fan the film top to bottom, okay? It's very important that you go top to bottom with this. You need the bottom to stretch just as much as the top. You don't want one stretching more than the other. And then having a nice smooth start with no wrinkles right there is very important as well. Again, it's a little bit colder in here today, so it takes a little bit longer for the heat to warm up. Sorry, for the film to warm up. I'm trying to avoid winter here as much as possible, so I haven't turned the heat on yet. It would probably be a little bit too hot if I did. Cool, we're gonna grab it, we're gonna pull it apart, okay? And then we're gonna swing it around. And this is how you do it. Stop, pull it again. And lock it in. Always, always, always lock it in. So now on this end, I'm like way past the corner. I'm about 5-6 inches past the corner. Remember how I said I came up short? Well, now it's way past the corner. Let's lock all this in right here. Not even gonna bother putting my glove on, I don't need it. We wanna get all the air out of here as fast as possible because it's a high tension zone, so it means the air will start to lock, the film will start to lock the air in. Doesn't matter if it has air release, it will start to lock it in. Again, I'm going over some areas, making sure everything's nice. Wrinkles down here, we're gonna pull them down, same as before. Perfect. Lock all that in. And then we want to make sure we're nice, tight across here. Perfect. Let's draw the film out to the bottom corner over here now. I'm expanding as I do that. And when I say expanding, it means I'm expanding the film out in 3 directions, okay? The wrinkles that I have running across on this side are going to be pulled up. Not that you can really see them. I'll actually just show you. I'll bring the camera over. I'm going to try and stay out of the out of the light for you so there's no shadow. So all these wrinkles that run across, they have to be pulled up, okay? We're always pulling in the opposite direction. Let's get it out. Especially when you're doing this alone, it's a little bit more tricky. What I've done here is I've also locked in this smooth edge right here. That's what we need to do. And all that stuff will just pull up, okay? So I don't want to stretch to the edge. I want to heat shrink this vinyl down. So I'm going to lock that in right there. Get rid of that. As soon as I get rid of that, it's gone, okay? It doesn't come back. Let's pull a few more of these really smooth wrinkles right here. These are really easy to take care of. And I'm going to show you what happens when we heat and shrink. There's the top of the, where it meets the fender right there. Okay, so right down here, I'm just going to lift this up, and you're going to see what happens when I heat it. It's going to pull tight across. Watch. Done. All the wrinkles are gone. I didn't have to stretch it. So right now it's pulling itself nice and tight across this headlight area. That's what you want. Just a little bit of air. That's why you go over your work. See a little bit down here as well. This is a hard color to actually see, okay? See air. So you have to be extra thorough when it comes to doing this. Cool. All down here, got a little bit of air right here. As long as we get it soon enough and don't leave it forever, we're able to squeegee it out. Awesome. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you down for all the cutting and trimming. Let's get the fog light area done over here. I'll do my best to stay out of your way as much as possible. Again, I don't have a cameraman here to help me, so I'm doing my best. I have my inlay here. I'm going to cut on my inlay. Now, could I put knifeless tape here? Yeah, it's just not really that effective in this area right here. It does do a better job to actually freehand cut this. You're more accurate. You won't where would you grab your knifeless tape is basically the problem. That can be difficult on its own. So I'm just looking, I'm always checking, making sure that my cut is still good. Okay, here's my chrome trim piece. So what I need to do with this chrome trim piece is actually cut straight, bang on, right near the nose of it, and split it. Again, take your time. Do not slip off of the chrome trim. You need it to be pretty accurate when it comes to doing this part. So with the trim masked, obviously the film doesn't stick very well to it. Okay, that's one part there. I have another one down here. Where is it? Right there. Don't come too close to the nose, just close enough. Trying to lead with my finger but not cut myself at the same time. I'm trying to find the best way to cut this. Even with the tape there is a chance you can cut through, okay? So don't push too hard with your blade. And this right here is why I masked off the fog light area. You're gonna see. So the fog light itself, I was cutting on the fog light, right? All right, so here, so what we do with this, we got a nice little tab, and we work this tab into this area here. Pretty straightforward, right? This does give you some maneuverability. You know, you can move it around a little bit. It's not like set in its place. You know, it's just vinyl. You can stretch it around a little bit if you need to. And then I'm going to look down here, and now I can see my inlay. So what I'm going to do is trim this back to about here, and try and keep my film around the fog light. Sorry. Close to the edge here. This is going to be like a relief cut more or less. As I trim away more and more, this will come down a little bit easier. Okay, see the fog light's in my way. So we need to, I'm finding the edge right now is what I'm doing. And I'm going to cut above the edge. Sort of around here. This is exactly why you want tape on everything. Okay, so now this film is going to basically push down in here a lot easier. Let's heat and stretch into this area a little bit right here. Not going to take a lot. The film will hold there, I'm not worried about it. What I need to do is I need to find my inlay edge, which is right there. Okay, we're looking good. Now I can trim this film back a bit, right here on this inlay. White is not the best color for seams and inlays. It does kind of suck. Okay. Now I did stretch the film up slightly to get better coverage. So it does require a bit of, again, maneuvering. Like I said, the film is not set in its position. You can move this however you need. Let's get that done. Let's pull it through. If I had the chrome trim and stuff removed, it would be a little bit easier, yes, but I don't find this bumper is all that hard to wrap to begin with. Let's get this tucked in really nicely. Perfect. That tucked in right there. Awesome. Okay, so that's our one tab. We've got two tabs right here, and then we have our other tab right here we still have to do. Take this one now, and we're gonna feed it into the recessed area so we're not stretching in. I don't want to stretch it too much, just kind of want to leave it so we're in a really good spot. Work it around very nicely, very evenly. You have to. You can work the film in and around the tape right now. There we go. Now down here, I'm going to have to do a bit of a relief cut, I think. Let's just check it out. Let's get this all done here. Nice and tight. Let's get this down. Oh, maybe not. It's curling and rolling down nicely. I'm good with it. That top line, I don't have to cut that anymore. We're good. That's all done. I don't actually have to cut any of this. I just have to trim out the excess afterwards, okay? So we'll get to it in a second. I'm just going to make sure we've got the coverage that we need. Cutting, again, when you're doing this is very tricky. It takes practice. By removing stuff like this, you don't have to worry as much, just letting you know. Having good lighting helps tremendously. Pull that back a bit. Okay. You always go over everything afterwards, cleans it up really nice. Get all that tucked in there. We need a tucking tool for that. I'm going to restart the camera. Here we go. Let's finish off this top bit right here. Cutting in the nice free space that it has. Makes it perfect. Get that out of there. And then let's get the excess out from inside here. Make sure your blade is very sharp, then you don't have to push hard, okay? Just taking my time. Don't want to screw anything up. There's a nice little edge on the inside there that I can run my blade on, where it's where the bumper ends actually. And then some plastic, black plastic thing begins. Okay, let's check out this spot right here. I'm going to make sure that we're pulled off of the chrome trim. This way it's tucking in nice. There we go. I felt like it was sticking a bit. We want to get this tucked in and around a bit, but we got to get the excess cut off first. And by that I mean we got to get the excess that we're going to be wrapping around this chrome trim cut off right here. We just get it to the corner, somewhere around here. There we go. Same thing up here. I've got it to that corner there, and then I'm going to cut this out. Nice space there as well. And again, I'm going to look. I've got my trusty tape there to avoid any cutting on the lens. Perfect. Let's do the bottom. It's very precise, okay? But if you get the right spot, your blade will just sit right in that little recess, little gap that it has. If you think that wrapping the bumper is the hard part, it's actually doing this small stuff that's the harder part. Okay? Just keep that in mind. There's a little spider here, a little friend. Okay, we're almost there for as far as this side goes. Get in there, trim out the excess. Awesome. Let's wrap the rest around. Again, using my tucking tool. We've got deep, deep, deep coverage. A little air in here still, like a fool. Just noticed it now. And I haven't even finished that bottom section there yet. So to open this up, I mean, actually I don't even need to take my glove off. I can just use my tool. I'm so close to the edge here that we can just pop this out slightly because the air's locked in. There's a little bubble right, there's actually a big bubble right there. Let's get it out. So I have to lift from the edge just to let the air out. Again, I'm not a fan of seams with white, but they do have to be done just as with any other color. There's not really a way to avoid it. You know, if you want your wrap failing, okay, that's a different story. You can do this all in one piece if you want to. It will fail, I guarantee it. And I'm going to trim out some excess down here. Let's get that out. I'm going to switch spots again. Let's get this little spider out of here. Save his life. There we go. Body positioning and your point of view is very important. I cannot stress this enough. Being able to put yourself in a position that feels good and makes sense makes all the difference in the world. Now for the nose here of the actual chrome trim area in the front, I'm going to take these two pieces and I'm just going to work the film in and around, get it nice and tight, and then I'll cut. This is what I call pre-tucking. You know, we're pre-tucking the film into the area before cutting. This gives us better coverage. Just slightly better, okay? Slightly with areas like this makes all the difference in the world a lot of times, so keep that in mind. Good, that one's almost done. And then this one here, let's finish this one off and then we're going to tuck it all in. Could have masked off a little closer to the nose of that chrome trim, it would have helped. Oops. We're going to get this tucked in and around. Good. Let's finish up this little bit right here. So I'm going to heat and stretch into this area, but not yet. I want to find how far I got to go, cut out some of this tension. So some of this extra material, we don't need all that. It's way too much. Good. Lift it off. I'm going to heat and push into the corner first. Right there. Now I'm going to work the film down to the edge, right here. I know there's a nice space here and I know there's a nice edge to cut on, because I checked it all first. I checked to see basically where I have to cut and what do I have to do for when I'm ready to do this kind of stuff, because if we just don't pay attention, then we're wondering why. So what you can do is when you're doing stuff like this is take a picture of the bumper. I used to do it all the time and save it, obviously, and you can revert back to it. So let's get this piece out. We're gonna again add a little more heat to the corner up here. my tucking tool in there, really define that edge. I want to make sure that I've got the coverage that I need. Good. Now the top section will be very easy because now it's just a flap to fold in. Got a wrinkle, so I just have to pull it back slightly. There we go. Let's get that in there. There we go. We're all good and nice and tight to the edge. Don't even need to add any heat before I cut because it's very minimal tension. It's a tiny, teeny tiny little gap there. I'm just running my blade on the back side, leaving next to no extra material. Done. That's fun. So the Tesla bumper itself is not perfect, by all means. It's pretty terrible actually. The finish in the upper side here is actually pretty terrible. The plastic is misshaped or not shaped the way it should be. Could have been nicer and could have been tighter, but hey, whatever. It's made by machines. Yeah, nothing is ever perfect, right? Right. This is a fun one because there's a massive clear coat run on the mirror on the driver's side. Yeah, good times. Good old Teslas. All right, so we're gonna just trim out. I mean, this is all pretty straightforward. Make a nice straight line. There's no tension here. I don't even need to do anything really. I can just cut in the space between the black plastic trim and the actual bumper itself. Do I need to wrap around 3 inches? No, I don't. Why? Because I know there's no tension there. Okay, let's get rid of that. We're going to do the whole wheel well area right here, right now. Very simple, very straightforward. Again, cutting on the black plastic trim side. That's there for this one. If you want video of this kind of stuff, these really close up, again, my new website, ckwraps.com, will show you all of this stuff. Because unfortunately, YouTube doesn't pay megabucks or anything like that, and I have to pay a videographer to do really nice videos for you guys. So here we are with the stationary camera and my not so great camera. Get that out of the way. Here, this is really easy actually. We don't need a lot of vinyl to go around or underneath the headlight because the gap, this gap is a good gap, and the actual bumper, the thickness of the bumper doesn't go through too far. So we're staying on the top side of the light, the bottom side of the light, sorry. And keep our back of our blade running nice and smooth. I actually have to look, here we go. When I'm going straight, I don't really have to look, but curling or curving the knife, yes, I do have to sort of look ahead and plan ahead. So right up here, I'm going to come out and cross the light a little bit. This is just a plan so I can get the film tucked in a little bit more over there. I know it needs to, that's why. I imagine if I was wrapping a red car, basically, what I would need to do. I wrap them all the same. I wrap them all as far in as I possibly can. Right here is pretty straightforward. I'm just going to smooth that out. Right to about there. I'm going to start my cut in about here. Okay, stay on the top side of that trim. Yeah, we don't need a lot of vinyl going into here. The gap's a nice gap, it's nice and tight. And it gives us just enough film to be able to tuck in. So you can see that I've switched over to the other side to cut back into this area again. I find this is easier. Now, when it comes to this area right here, I have a little peek. Cool, you can see behind. Let's come up and out that way. I'm going to move the camera back over to the center. So again, I'm going to come out. I'm not quite over the corner, okay? I'm giving myself a little extra buffer here for coverage. I need that. You can see everything's taking shape. It's looking wonderful. Over here, I'm going to fix the camera first. Over here, I'm going to pull it through a little bit. I'm going to cut off a whole bunch of this though. I don't need that much. Get my hands a little bit closer to the area that I need them to be. Okay, and then I'm going to pull back over this corner right here, and I want to tuck the film in and underneath just like so. This is going to give us much better coverage. Even though I'm doing white over white, we don't play around here. We still go for maximum coverage within reason. If this car was red, I would have to take some stuff apart. Yes, again, I'm not charging the customer for that kind of stuff because they don't need it. If they want to pay for it, then by all means. But I don't know anyone who really wants to waste money. So perfect. Let's get rid of that. Looking behind. Cool. Let's lift up that little trim. Good. Then I can get in nice and behind here. Very easy. Very straightforward. Cut on the back side of the bumper. Done. Let's go put the trim back down now. Put it back in the hole. There we go. Let's come through here. Done. Get the rest of that tucked down. Get those edges smooth. Good on that side. First, I'm going to go over with my buffer over this edge, and then we use the hard edge over our squeegee. Not going to go all the way to that end because I'm not done that end yet. As you can see, the chrome trim lifts ever so slightly, allowing your squeegee to kind of get in there a little bit easier. Cool. Same deal here. Let's cut out the light. The light area. Let's define my line. That's all good. Start in around here. Okay, I'm gonna come back this way. It's just easier. It's getting a little awkward there for me. That's good. Let's come up and out. It's an awkward cut. And let's come and do the same thing I did here. One more blade out. Awesome. Have a bit too much vinyl here, so I'm just trimming some back. Good. Doing the same thing, fender area over here. Same thing as I did on the other side. Tighten it up. right along this line again where the plastic wheel guard is, whatever you want to call it. Patience, my friends. Get all that out of the way. I didn't quite finish this side on the bottom yet, but that's okay. Let's do it right now. Just have a tiny couple of inches to go here, actually like an inch. Done. Cool, let's do the same cut on the bottom here. Right here. What I'm going to do now is come straight across. Good. I'm going to come up and over top of this plastic right here. Let's cut out a whole bunch of this. Almost fell over. That eliminates that. I'm going to finish the light area first over here. I haven't done that yet, so let's just do that quick. Get all that tucked in there. I'm using my finger first, doesn't really matter. You can use the buffer side of your squeegee or your finger, whatever you're comfortable with. Then let's use the buffer side. It's a nice gap here. Get all that rolled around, looking sharp. This bumper is nice and pliable, so it does move a little bit. Beauty. Same deal over here, guys. Let's get it tucked in and around the corner of this little chrome trim. There, easy. Cut off the excess, it's a ton, way too much. I'm going to lift the plastic trim again, pull it through. Come right around here. That looks pretty. Details, details, details. Trying to find an edge to cut on here. There it is. I need the back edge of something. Get this down and around. Now I can go back down into its home. Oh, I must have missed a spot. Gotta get those top ones in. There we go. And then get the bottom one in. Done. Okay. Get the light area done. It's a bit, I mean, these bumpers don't fit properly ever, so you can tell by the gaps by the front fenders. So sometimes it's a little bit bigger on one side than it is on the other. This side I have almost no room, so getting in there with a tucking tool, smooth all that out. Perfect. Down here, pretty straightforward. I might as well finish it right now and then do the fog light area. I'm gonna heat it. I'm gonna take it, and I'm gonna pull it through, okay? So I wanna pull it through the area. So this way we're not stretching so much as we're kind of pulling the film through the area. If that makes any sense at all? I have no idea, guys, but it's all I know, the only way I know how to explain it. Good, I'm over my inlay, we're looking pretty. So let's cut off here. Again, awkward place to put knifeless tape. So cutting, like I just did, is the better way to do it. Easier in my opinion. Okay, let's shrink all that down. Cool. Let's do the other side. Same thing. Heat. And kind of pull it through. I'm a big fan of this method of pulling the film through an area. This way it does help sometimes to remove headlights and things like that. Being able to pull the film through the area does help a lot, okay? Don't want this to fold here. So again, I'm gonna do a relief cut right around here. Anytime you're cutting the film, of course you always run the risk of cutting through, okay? Especially when you're cutting on top of something else, right? So just practice a little bit before you end up doing this kind of stuff. Practice your blade pressure, that's the number one. Let's get this bit down and around the corner, because it's sort of folded on me, because I don't have it down and around the corner. There we go. I gotta get myself in a good spot here again, changing positions so I can see what the hell is happening. Awesome. Excess film gets down, goes down, and gets tucked in. Now we're going to finish off the little center section. Which is right here. Heat it, shrink it all down. There we go, it's pulling itself underneath. It's perfect. My wrinkles run across. Sorry if I was blocking your way. I can pretty much remove my glove. It's actually inhibiting me right now. It's not good to grab the vinyl and have the glove on at the same time. I fix this up down here, got some wrinkles. Don't need a lot of heat. Just a touch. Just flattening out those wrinkles, keeping everything smooth, okay? It's better. Get a better perspective looking like this. Let's flatten out those. There we go. Let's just keep going and looking. I'm going to use my other squeegee here. It's more rigid, so it's easier to keep wrinkles away. The soft one sometimes doesn't do the trick, so sometimes when you have to push extra hard, it does help to have a more firm squeegee, like I do here. Again, we're not stretching to the edge, we're just feeding the film to it. If I was stretching the film to the edge, that would be a threat of pullback. Made it right to it. And a little bit past. Actually, no, it's the shape of the bumper. It looks like some of the vinyl's wrinkled, but it's just the shape of the bumper because they didn't finesse the edges when they did the mold for it, I guess, afterwards. They didn't like sand stuff down and make it look pretty around the edges down here. Nothing I could do about that, unfortunately. Good. I got some excess fill on this side and the other side. And then we'll trim it out. Good. I'm going to restart the camera in 2 seconds, finish up the fog light area, and then we're done. Beautiful. So I'm going to finish up this fog light area here, and then the front bumper will be finished. Show you what it looks like. Okay, find my inlay again. There it is. Do this a little bit faster since I've already done the other side. This is the most, I guess, scary part of the whole thing. It's this side right here. Sorry, it's this piece right here where you're trying to get your inlay just right. I'm just going to take care of this one right now. I'll just do one at a time right now. Use my squeegee. It's even faster. Not much talking here, guys, so I'm just focusing on getting it done. Trim out some of this. That's the next one. Let's do the middle tab. Can do this fairly quick. Might seem like I'm working quickly. I do work swiftly, I suppose. I wouldn't really say quick. You know, it's not something you want to rush, right? Do I know usually what's going to happen when I do stuff? Yes. So it does save me some time from like troubleshooting and things like that. You guys need tucking tools for sure thing. It makes the job way better. Okay, let's figure out what's going on down here. This is the last bit. It's enough. See my inlay. Constantly push down on the inlay to make sure I see it. Get the rest tucked in and then get it trimmed out. And then we're done. Plastic behind it. Vinyl stuck on it. There we go. Small piece stuck in here. Let's get that out. There we go. Perfect. Again, trimming. I got to trim out and around these little guys here on the ends. Precision cutting here. Good. And up this upper fog light area part. The bumper sits so tight against the fog light over here, I actually have to pull it out with my hand a little bit, which is what I'm doing, just to describe what's happening over here. Pushed in here, the corner again, done. I'm pulling the bumper out with my hand right now. It's just so damn tight. I wish I could just trim off some of the actual bumper because it sticks out and makes it look like it's not that nice up in there all that much, but what am I going to do? So, okay, that's pretty much it. I'll take you for a little grand tour here and we'll see what the bumper looks like. So what I need to do still is go over the edges with heat. So all edges have to be post-heated or heated and then pushed down. But if you want to see what the inlay looks like down here, it's not terrible. I don't like white inlays, but that's not terrible, okay? Just kind of give you an example. The one under here, not that you can see a whole lot, but you can still see it in there a little bit. It's not crazy bad or anything, but it's there. Don't love that one. That's why I put it further in. Well, that's pretty much it, guys. It's going to give you a little visual of the car. All the chrome trim is wrapped. Mirror done in one piece, one by Kirsten, one by me. Video on how to do this kind of stuff on ckwraps.com. So the wheels will go back on in 2 days, and that'll be that. Alright guys, I hope this video was informative and helpful. If it was, don't forget to hit the like button. If you want to see more videos, don't forget the subscribe button. Again, detailed 4K videos, disassembly videos, and a forum discussion board on ckwraps.com, premium members only. And that's it. Thank you again for watching. I appreciate it very much. Take care.